as always, now it's time for our featured story of the night. All right. We're going to dive in for the last time this season talking about The Mandalorian. That's right. The Mandalorian, the last episode came out, the series or the season finale, episode 8, The Return. Now, for me, it's like we've been waiting and waiting for this big battle, of course. Everyone's been thinking about Mandalore. Oh, before I get in there, I just want to say, everybody, in case you're wondering, spoiler alert, just so everybody knows, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, everybody. And my Siri, and my Siri watch did not like that either. She went nuts on it. So spoiler alert right away. So Sabrina didn't like that either. I think, though, overall, that they actually ended on a very good note here. I think it was a lot of fun. The battle was great. The Mandalorians flying was a lot of fun. Like that battle, flying in the sky like that, seeing the Mandalorians flying in with a dark saber like that, coming in there and kicking ass. Like it was a great battle. And all leading up for Moff Gideon, too, the whole fight between Moff Gideon and Bo-Katan, and having Grogu actually use the Force again and kicking some ass, too. I was waiting for that. And I think that was really well done, the back and forth between the both battles, Bo-Katan coming in there. I think they did a great job wrapping it all up and getting back to Mandalore and conquering it again and taking down Moff Gideon. But is Moff Gideon actually dead? That's the question. We had these tubes full of clones. Has he cloned himself someplace else? Do we want him even to come back anymore? Honestly, no. I think the season would have been better to have him throughout the whole thing as opposed to just sticking him at the end and being like that, like, oh, well, we got Moff Gideon again, because that's what it feels like. Because they've done that the first 2 seasons, too, where he kind of pops in and then it's a battle at the end.
Well, they had the essence of Moff Gideon.
Exactly. It was the overlooming specter that he was there. His presence was somewhere in the universe, behind the strings of the puppets or whatever. Like it wasn't that we just didn't see Giancarlo Esposito that much. That's all.
Yeah. He was great though, and they've got synthesizer on his voice, made him very much like Darth Vader a little bit too. And as he was more robotic too. It was almost like he was. I go back to because I'm from when I was a kid, Gizmo Duck. You remind me of Gizmo Duck a little bit from DuckTales.
Sure, I can see a Gizmo Duck. Yeah,
I cannot right now.
Sabrina's like, no, don't say that. But yeah, I mean, I think that people are going online about there's no spies. I'm expecting the armor to be a spy, but honestly, I didn't need a spy. I think it just was like naturally, this is where you're going to go. You have the big battle, and it was great. They killed the Darksaber, which blew my mind a little bit. But
yeah, I didn't like that.
Blew my mind.
It was the major character death, right? Aside from Paz Vizsla in the last episode, you expected there was all these kind of you expect the stakes to be so high that a major character is going to be out. There's all these rumors about Pedro Pascal leaving the show after this season. Like he could have been gone. And like honestly, if this is all we got in 4 seasons and this is how it wrapped, I'd be pretty happy with it. I'm excited to see that them going back to their bounty hunting roots. But it's great. It's great television. It's a good show that there was high enough stakes, and the major character death was the Darksaber after all that.
Yeah, right. That was it. But I mean, it was good. Like Paz too. Like when he died, it was such a moment last episode. It was such a huge moment. And this, you didn't really need it. Like, I mean, you kill him off. Now you're killing the villain. And as Mando was saying, like, we have to end this now. So hopefully the idea is that, he's done now. This is it. We don't need to keep kicking the bucket with this. We got Thrawn coming in. So maybe he's going to be the bad next time. Maybe he'll have his presence known in the Mandalorian world, hopefully. Sabrina, give me what you're taking this. What do you think about this episode, and are you happy with how it ended and this season went?
I shockingly, the bitch that I am, enjoyed the season a lot. I know a lot of people did not, and they're upset about it, but I think it was a lot of Grogu, which I am obsessed with. And I think that Bo-Katan fucking killed it. Katie Sackhoff is a fucking force to be reckoned with.
Fantastic.
She's amazing.
Such a great job. And like from her indifference with her leg over her fucking chair by herself, being like, fuck off, Mando, to going and saving him twice and then becoming the leader of the Mandalorian and fucking having that epic battle. Like, dude, my favorite scene which is probably unpopular, but they started the fight and she was flying and she fucking killed one of the Imperials and she fucking did like a little somersault kick and slid underneath a thing and jumped back up on a thing. And then she blocked the fucking shots with her knees and then fucking killed the guy. I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, she is so fucking great. I think that women should aspire to be her. She's fucking like politically sound. She brought together two sects of Mandalorians that are fucking sworn enemies. She fucking had a very formidable battle with Moff Gideon, who, by the way, I love Giancarlo Esposito, however the fuck you say his name. I don't care for him as Moff Gideon. I really don't. He doesn't seem menacing enough. I don't buy it. I don't know why, but I really fucking don't. He's like a fragile old man. And I say fragile because I love A Christmas Story and I'm Italian. So he's like, just because he has all this Beskar on and he fucking is just this a huge badass fucking sword wield. She has a dark saber and she's young and fit and hot and fucking ready to go. And somehow Grandpa Moses over here is able to fucking hold his own even, period. He shouldn't even been able to hold his own against Din Djarin. Like, let's be real.
He had some cybernetic assistance. I think, they played some things with the audio in his suit. It made it seem like...
because his fucking suit was super strong. It's like, bro, he crushed the dark saber with his hand.
He's in some sort of mechanical suit.
Like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like RoboCop.
And also,
a little bit.
I don't like the three people in the red that came out in sex garb, like some weird fucking cultist sex shit. They're in like latex red, trying to fight a baby. I'm like, let's rein it in, American Horror Story. Like, that's a lot. It is a lot. I'm gonna need you to bring it back 6 fucking decibels.
It's the Praetorian Guard.
The Praetorian Guard, yeah.
They're in red. It's like, do you remember the first season of American Horror Story, Leatherface, and all the things were like the black leather? Like, it was that, but with a skirt on. And I'm like, please don't bring that into my Mandalorian. It's very rapey and I don't like it. So I was glad
they went after Grogu too.
Yeah, they did.
I know. And the poor thing's doing like somersaults and I'm like, rape her. I'm like, does anyone not see the pedophiles in the room? Can we please save the child? But
interesting symbolism you picked up there,
the child.
Sabrina. Yeah, the child. No,
I'm just saying. I did not like that. But I did love when he was like levitating the frog at the end and like, you know, he's going to work for the New Republic as a bounty hunter. Like, I'm down for another season. And obviously Pedro Pascal is coming back.
But I also like the hallway scene with the shields up and down with the R5 stuff. That was a lot of fun. And like the little droids coming after him and hitting him, and then he's battling it out. That shit was great. It was a fun moment, and it takes you back a little bit to like.
Droid, I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and it was like me and drove away. I was like, yes.
Yeah, there were a lot of parallels in this movie and little kind of like Easter eggs and quick shout out to Ryan Airy of Screen Crush, who does a fantastic job of breaking down Easter eggs. Oh, you're familiar. He's great. Oh, what are you going to say about that?
Him in English shirt on?
Yeah. His little assistant manager, Doug, come on. But like, I wouldn't have enjoyed that show to the level that I did without his videos to really kind of, because there's so much history and like culture, everything layered in these episodes of these characters mean this, and here's why this was a pivotal scene because of how these guys worked out together. Like, for my whole thoughts of the series was, it felt like a lot of the other Mandalorian series where it was a little bit drawn out. The pacing was a real big issue, right? Like, not a lot happened in some of the middle episodes, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, we got to end this. We got to figure out how we're dealing with these clones. We got to figure out how we're dealing with Moff Gideon. There's still a lot of strands there that I hope are going to continue into season 4. But like overall, I thought it was a highly enjoyable season, and really the season finale, I think everyone was looking for. It was plenty of action. Enough of the story kind of got wrapped up. We had a reset on Din and Grogu, kind of going back to what made them enjoyable to watch in the first place. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the show goes on from here.
Yeah, it's resetting it up, and now your Grogu's in a better spot too. He's stronger. He's also being trained by him now.
He's
an apprentice. Yeah,
Din Grogu. Yeah.
So I think he communicated with the Mythosaur a little bit at the end too. I think there was a connection with the Mythosaur.
Yep.
I think there was something there, and it makes me wonder. And there's little foreshadowing. They've been setting that up. Of course, there was not enough time in this season to have the Mythosaur come out and ride it and do all that stuff.
There could have been enough time in this season, but they chose not to.
They needed that Lizzo and Jack Black episode instead.
An entire episode of obtaining Christopher Lloyd. Like, why are you throwing 3 drops in one episode? Like, that's insane.
And then the Kane episode too, with all that whole backstory about the cloning. But that's all setting up, setting seeds for the future.
A shit episode. Honestly, those are my least 2 favorite episodes. To be honest, like I don't know. I was like, why are we doing this for a whole episode?
But they set it up from the very beginning. They said, we're going back to Mandalore. That was the whole thing. As soon as he found out that the waters were there, it was all there. You could breathe there. It's like they were setting it up to go back, to get everybody back together, and they did that.
But I don't know why Jack Black and Lizzo had to be involved, or
a lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't know. Droid situation. It's not even like they came and gave them backup when they were fighting for Mandalore. Like, what was that for? Honestly, like,
you know why Jack Black was there, Sabrina? You know why Jack Black was there? Peaches.
Yeah, fuck you. Stop it right now.
I gotta throw it out there at least once an episode now. I just have to.
No,
you saw Mario anymore, probably, right, Sean? You saw Mario, right? You have not?
Not yet.
You've not seen Mario. So when you see Mario, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a whole Peaches thing. So
sure,
it's a whole thing. But yeah, I think though, overall though, of course there are those filler episodes, which is unfortunate with 8 episodes. You shouldn't have that. The episodes also are like varying how the length are. Some are like, there's like 52 to like, 35, you know what I mean? So I think it should be more of a fixed rate, but if you had an hour episode and there were 8 episodes, that's more content. People wouldn't complain as much. It wouldn't be like, not having 10 or 12 or 24, but never have 24 again. But I still think they had a great story. They actually hit every point they wanted to. They got us back there. Bo-Katan, it was really Bo-Katan's season. It was about her getting back there and getting that Darksaber and getting back to leading them, bringing the Mandalorians together, getting back to Mandalore. We got that. Now we have everything set up for the next season and,
also,
all the big bads coming.
Yep.
I'm sorry not to interrupt, but I love how the armor was just smashing motherfuckers with her fucking hammer as they were flying through the air. I was like, bitch. Like 3 people in a row. I was like, yes.
Jetpack,
the fight was
jetpack troop, and then she's just swinging with a damn hammer.
She's like, fuck you. I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you with my hammer. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. I honestly think that flying sequence.
Yeah,
that flying sequence is one of the best I think they've done. It's just like them flying in, the whole fight in the air. You haven't seen something like that, especially in a TV show.
And sliding, just the stunt work was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Absolutely.
And then some people are upset that there were no spies, like I said before. People are upset that it was Bo-Katan's story. There was the rumor that Pedro was leaving. But I mean, honestly, he has what does he go? He goes into a booth and he does the recording for the voiceover, like a couple hours maybe.
His face since the first or second episode.
Like, how hard is it to keep doing this show forever? It's an easy paycheck. You're Mandalorian.
Now that they're together, like the Mandalorians are all together, is he gonna take his helmet off now? That's the question.
That's not his way. He's not going to take it off. He's not going to do it, though.
That's not the way, Sabrina.
But they're together now.
That's not the way.
So, like, he could if he wanted to.
No, I think it's a more united people that are more tolerant and respectful of the different sex and what made them different. I think that's why you saw.
If they live on Mandalore, he can dump in that water anytime he has to take his helmet. So if they're going to go back to bounty hunting, he may have to take his helmet off, and then he can just take a little dip in the water, and he'll be like, "And I'm back to this is the way." Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of an open door there, a tiny bit, but a little bit.
But even when you saw Ragnar's baptism scene, right? Everyone had a helmet on because they were respecting the fact that was the tradition, and that's like, prime Mandalore tradition, whatever. Like, everyone did. And then when people were leaving
Grogu
and cheering
didn't have a helmet on.
Well, what are you going to do with those ears? Those ears aren't going to, you need a weird helmet.
They're going to make holes. He's going to wear a helmet, I guarantee you, by the end of it.
My wife and I, this whole season, were like, wouldn't it be so damn cute if Grogu says at the end of the series, this is the way.
Yeah.
I would have lost my shit. Oh my God, I would have lost my shit.
I was waiting for it, honestly. I love the fact that he was like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Gotta pay Taika Waititi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he used the Force shield. That was really fun. Yeah, Taika Waititi. I mean, how great is that for Taika? You know what I mean? How great.
That reminded me of Groot saving everyone in Guardians of the Galaxy when he made his like little bubble of tree branches and like cradled everyone down. That's what it reminded me of. We are
and then
Mandalorian.
he goes, oh, and he sits down because he's tired from that.
I know.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to pass out, and he just kind of sat, and I was like, oh, he's getting stronger. He didn't pass out.
Yeah, he needed
last time I took a nap on the rock for a really long time.
Give him a space macaroon or something, and he can go take care of the rest of the Praetorian Guard.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Axe Wolves too. Like I thought maybe he was gonna be. I thought he was gonna be a spy maybe too, and he's flying up to the sky. But he actually just crashes that down, and like as like a boss, he shoots the window out and flies out, and he saves himself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this guy's going down with the ship. Oh no, he just really easily shoots the window
like,
and says, "I'm freaking out of here. Done my job."
Out.
Yeah.
but you do raise a very good question. Is Moff Gideon actually dead? And I really hoped for a more final death for him, because I'm sick of him looming about. I've had enough. And I don't want them to bring it back again, because we've already done it twice.
I think he will be dead, because I think that there were enough things opened up with this whole Imperial Shadow Council that he had the meeting with. There's enough there, I think, to kind of replace the big bad. As Brian mentioned, Thrawn's coming back. We know it. He's been teased so far in the Ahsoka trailers. Like I think that he's going to be replaced by someone. So I think Moff Gideon's story has been told, has been done.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think now we get to see who else is out there and who else will be the big bad, kind of toying with the New Republic.
And I hope really, like as Mando said, we have to end this now, or it'll never end. And I think that was meant to be too. Like he's done. I hope so. I'm always like skeptical, but I hope so. I hope, because I think that's just, I mean, the fire, and he puts the arms up. It's like, come on, that makes sense. Like that's it. That's it for him.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Giancarlo out.
Yep, out. It was been fun, guys.
See ya.
Mock drape.
See ya.